Oh, you want to play psycho killer? Can I be the helpless victim?
Cross your eyes and scream, man. Scream for your life.
Welcome, Scream Queens, Kings, and Things. Whether you are screaming at movies or the real life stuff, I'm your host, Jenica Olin. This is my 42nd episode. My theme of the month is Supernatural September, with 4 weeks of horror movies based on supernatural events. A newlywed couple moves into a charming Long Island house with a dark past, only to face terrifying supernatural events that threaten their sanity and lives. The haunting grows more violent each day, revealing the home's gruesome history. If you're new here, each episode will have an intro, brief synopsis of the movie, an analysis of the film, and then I get into the true horrors of it all. Since this movie is based on a true story, imagine me doing air quotes around that. My true horrors and horror talk portion will be combined. Spoiler alert, I've spoiled the shit out of this movie. Today, I'll be covering the Amityville Horror 1979, directed by Stuart Rosenberg, written by Sanders Stern, Jay Anson, and George Lutz, starring James Brolin, Margot Kidder, and Rod Steiger. The estimated budget was over $4 million, and the estimated gross was over $86 million. Tagline, for God's sake, get out. Some quick trivia about this film. While washing the dishes, Margot Kidder's character is heard humming the love theme from Superman 1978, which she starred in as Lois Lane. Due to all the unwanted fame the book and film had brought upon the real house in Amityville, the current owners have replaced the evil eyes windows with normal rectangular shaped windows. At the time of its release, the film was one of the highest grossing independent films of all time and American International Pictures' biggest hit. James Brolin was hesitant when he was first offered the role of George Lutz. He was told that there was no script and he must obtain a copy of Jay Anson's novel and read it as soon as possible. Stars James Brolin and Margot Kidder visited the real Amityville house as part of the publicity for this movie. In hopes of creating more publicity for the film, the studio would concoct stories of weird occurrences on the set of the film. Let's set the scene with a synopsis of the movie.
We have to do something.
I'm coming apart. Oh, Mother of God, I'm coming apart.
28 days after the Lutz family moved into their dream house, they were running for their lives. What happened to them is an experience in terror you will never forget, and you will believe.
In the quiet town of Amityville, on Long Island, South Shore, stands a house that looks almost too perfect. A Dutch colonial with gambrel roof and 2-quarter moon windows, lit at night to resemble unblinking eyes. A sign in the front yard calls it High Hopes, but inside, those hopes are doom. Only a year before George and Kathy Lutz moved in with their 3 children, the house was the scene of a massacre. On November 13, 1974, 28-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. took a rifle and murdered his entire family while they slept in their beds. The whispers around town were still fresh when the home went on the market. In the fall of 1975, the Lutz family saw their chance. A beautiful, spacious home worth $120,000, and theirs for only $80,000. The realtor was honest. This house has a history, but the price, the charm, the dream, it was too good to resist. They bought it. They moved in, and almost immediately things went wrong. Kathy, a devout Catholic, asked a priest to bless the home. Father Delaney arrived, holy water in hand, but as he entered one upstairs room, the air grew thick. Out of nowhere, flies swarmed. buzzing so loudly he could hardly pray. His stomach churned, bile rising, and then something struck him with blisters across his palm. The blessing failed. His calls to the family were cut short by static. As he tried to warn them, his car failed. His brakes went out, and later, his mind began to collapse. Blinded, broken, and abandoned by the church, Father Delaney could only scream his desperate prayer, "O Lord, give them strength of mind and body, that they may do your will." His plea went unanswered. Evil was winning. Inside the house, George Lutz changed. Always cold, he fed the fireplace like an obsession, splitting wood for hours, his face drawn, his temper short.
Don't ever do that. Not to a man with an axe in his hand.
I just thought maybe I could get a little help.
He began waking every night at 3:15 a.m., the very time of the DeFeo murders. Drawn to check the boathouse as if summoned, Kathy's children suffered too. Her son's hand crushed by a window that seemed to slam all on its own, and little Missy whispering to her new friend, Jody, a pig-like entity with glowing red eyes. Kathy herself dreamed of the murders, seeing them as if they were visions. The house did not merely haunt, it consumed. Black sludge bubbled up from the toilets. Green ooze dripped from walls. The babysitter was trapped in a closet with no lock. A visiting nun fled the house vomiting. Even Kathy's aunt, a nun, could not stay inside. Every visitor felt the weight of it. The walls seemed to breathe. The house was alive. George's business crumbled as he neglected work. His partner's wife, sensitive to the unseen, trembled and whispered, "Boy, are these vibes ever strong." And in the basement, the family dog, Harry, pawed and growled at a hidden room. What some would later claim was a gateway to hell itself.
What the hell are you doing? What is the matter with you?
Don't you understand? It has to be done. That is where the room is.
What the hell are you doing to my house?
Desperate, the Lutz family searched records. Legends told of a devil worshiper, John Ketchum, who had once lived on the land. Others said the house stood upon a tribal burial ground. Whatever its origin, the darkness was undeniable. Then came the breaking point. On a storm-soaked night, the house unleashed its fury. Doors slammed, windows rattled, the walls themselves seemed to bleed. The family had no choice. Leaving their possessions behind, they fled into the rain, never to return. The scene fades to black. A chilling caption appears. Today, the Lutz family lives in another state. And so ended their 28 days at High Hopes. What truly happened in that house remains debated. Hoax, hysteria, or haunting. But one thing is certain, in Amityville, the American dream became a nightmare, and the house still watches with its two blinking eyes.
Come on, boy.
Now it's time to talk horror, and today my guest is Colby from Colby Does Horror. He's also a co-host for the House of Ghouls podcast. So where can people find you, and what have you been working on?
You can find me at Colby Does Horror on both TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then, yes, the House of Ghouls podcast that I have with my two best friends. But I've just been working on watching movies and pumping some reviews out. I just got done covering Fantasia Film Festival, so my content has been lacking like the past couple of weeks. I'm just kind of burnt out on watching all these movies.
Sometimes you need a little bit of a break. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I got some other stuff coming up though. I actually got asked to be a guest at the Milwaukee Horror Convention coming up in a few weeks. That's in obviously Milwaukee. It's September 5th through the 7th, so they asked me to be a guest there. I'm going to host a couple panels and host the film festival that they have. So I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome. Well, today we're here to talk about the 1979 Amityville horror. It leans heavily on themes that bleed into supernatural dread with very human anxieties. There's financial ruin, domestic violence, isolation, and fragility of faith. I find this movie interesting more because of all those things than the actual story. Like we had talked about before I started recording, the remake is definitely better when it comes to watching a movie.
Yes.
But I think this one does a better job being true to the book. This is heavily based on the book because there wasn't even a script for this movie, apparently. They had the book, and I guess the director, Stuart Rosenberg, had told George Lutz, like, go read the book because I'm not going to have a dialogue for you. If you want to have this role, go read the book. There was no script. So that's why I know it was like very heavily based on the book. And I just know like the remake is way more over the top and dramatic with everything than even this one is. And even this one's like kind of dramatic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm curious if are you a skeptic or no?
So I've actually been ghost hunting before.
Okay.
So I have experience, like I've never seen an actual apparition or anything, but I definitely believe.
Okay.
And I guess I was a skeptic when I was going into my first ghost hunt, which was actually like 2 months ago.
Oh.
But experiencing some of the things I did, I definitely believe now.
So you're a new believer.
And I wouldn't say I was a skeptic, but I didn't know whether to believe or doubt.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what you think by the end of our conversation, because I am going to take a tally because I'm trying not to be biased. Like, I'm not a believer in the supernatural. I grew up believing it and then realizing that a lot of the supernatural shit that was like happening was more linked to mental illness, honestly. And so I was like, this is bullshit. Like, take the mental illness out and this stuff is not real. Everyone has a different relationship to it. And I don't know. I can't say that for everyone. There are some things in the favor of this being a true haunting, and there are things not in its favor. So I'm going to take a tally, and then based on the tally, that's what I'm landing on.
Okay.
Okay. So I really hope it doesn't make me a believer.
I like this idea though.
So let's start with the American dream. So like they buy this house. They can't afford it. The Lutz, so we've got George Lutz and we've got Kathy. They're newlyweds, and the house was selling for $80,000.
Yeah, I think it was like 83,000 or something like that.
Yeah, and it was worth like 120,000. So they were getting a good deal. That right there, that's scary. The fact that only cost 80,000. How much do you think that house costs today?
It's got to be at least $500,000.
I think it's like $1 million.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm not sure. Let me see how much.
Because even when I was watching more YouTube trying to get refreshed on the actual case and everything, and even when they said the 83,000 or whatever, I was like, damn, that's still a lot back then.
I mean, it was a beautiful house.
It was gorgeous.
And it had a dock. It was on a lake.
The dock, was it a 2 or 3? I think it was like a 3-car garage.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking it up. It's saying 2017, it sold for 600 and 500,000.
See, but that was, you said 2016?
17.
Oh, 17. See, that's before COVID and that huge market boost. So it's got to be a lot more than that now.
Yeah, I guess it's saying the house was listed for sale. They wanted 850,000, but then they only got 605. But I bet it's worth $1 million now. Oh, wait, there's a new article, 1.5 million.
Okay.
And that was in 2023. It sold for 1.5 million.
That sounds a lot more accurate, especially with all the lore behind the house, too.
Okay, one thing for it not being true, I'm going to just give it a point for untrue, is the fact that no one else has had a supernatural incident in this house since the Lutz family.
There hasn't been?
No.
I didn't look into that at all.
Yeah. No,
That's kind of wild. Because it'd even be easy to fabricate a story just to get like famous quick kind of thing, you know?
it would. Everyone who's lived in the house since has said they've never experienced any supernatural activity and they want people to like leave them in the house alone.
Okay.
So
That's a big one, actually.
it's a blended family with 3 kids. And George Lutz has a company that specialized in land surveying and mapping. So he's like a small business owner.
Hmm.
They take on this new house. George is growing aggressive and isolating himself. It's seen as being like malevolent, but there's also a lot of stress factors here. I don't think they lived together before moving into this house, is what my impression was.
Yeah, I know they did in the remake, but I don't know if they did in this one or in real life.
In real life, let me look it up. I know this is the first house, like they just got married. You know
Yeah.
what? No, I have it in here in my notes of when they got married. George and Kathy Lutz were married in July of 1975. And then this was Kathy's second marriage, and they bought the infamous Amityville house in December of 1975. So they had just been married.
Okay.
So there are a lot of stressors there. Would you say so?
Absolutely. And if it is their first time living together,
Yeah.
another huge stress factor. And obviously it's always that trope of like the stepdad thing of trying to win the kids over, like not be their actual dad, but it's still those are still big shoes to fill that you're now a stepdad type of thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to put that as another point for being untrue. Does that seem like a fair point?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. That's just like the backdrop of it all. That's what's happening even before they get into this house. So they fall in love with this house, they move in. George gradually, they frame it as if he's having a psychological possession,
Hmm.
which makes him like angry. Really, he's just angry and he's chopping a lot of wood all the time. Chopping wood. Loves his axe. Always with his axe, like either sharpening it or chopping wood. And honestly, I think he's avoiding them. I think he's trying not to be around his wife.
Isolating.
I think he's angry. And I think this is an avoidance tactic that he's using. I don't know why possession would make you just chop wood.
Yeah, I think it is I suffer from mental issues. Like I have depression, anxiety, and like isolation is one of my biggest coping mechanisms. It's the most unhealthiest one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like isolation, and it's like a workout I'm sorry, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I almost dropped the F-bomb. I didn't know. But he could use it as like a coping mechanism and like a workout, I guess, too. So, but yeah, I don't know why demon possessing you would make you want to chop wood.
I feel like if anything, it would want you in the house.
Yeah.
Not outside of the house chopping wood.
Wrecking complete havoc.
He's like super organized with his wood chopping. But he becomes increasingly withdrawn and aggressive. And I also have mental health stuff as well. And I take medicine for it. I'm on like Zoloft, like the highest prescription you can be. And it sounded like George needed to go see someone. But he's just obsessive. He probably has OCD, quite honestly, which I have.
Yeah, and like the more I think about it, because I've watched a lot of movies and I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and I don't know the word for it right now, but like obviously postpartum psychosis is a big thing where like mothers actually kill their babies. So he could maybe feel like something wrong was coming and he was getting some sort of psychosis to hurt his family. And like he felt something coming, so he was just trying to avoid them. That's what I took in this last time watching it.
So he experiences reoccurring nightmares and visions, which just tells me they're stressed out. They're having nightmares, including seeing himself aiming a shotgun at his family. So, okay, you want to kill your family. I get that. Like, I mean, I don't get that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're possessed. I will say it's like further in my notes, but one of the sons, his name was changed for the movie, but he comes out and he talks about how his stepfather was very abusive. And that was like even after they left the house, he was very physically and verbally abusive to them. So I'm putting a point for it being untrue because he's an abusive man, no matter what.
It's a lot of untrue points so far.
Well, we're just making our way through. We'll see where it goes. Tell me, okay, if there's something that you're like, give it a point for being true, then I'll put the point over there too.
No, I agree with everything so far, and the arguments you're making, like, yeah, it's. I'm definitely on that side.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really trying to be unbiased here, but it's hard. So the nightmares, I can't say that that's a point for him. George discovers a hidden room in the basement with red walls that wasn't on the house blueprint and which seems to terrify the dog. This red room is not nearly what they make it look like, but the fact that there was a hidden creepy room at all, I'll give them that point.
Yeah, that's weird. And the dog being scared to go in there, like, that's weird.
There were accounts from neighbors saying that the dog was being very aggressive and acting aggressive. But here's my counter to that of it being either supernatural or, just a dog protecting the owner, because I'm not sure whose dog that was to begin with. And he was acting very aggressive towards the kids and towards Kathy. Like, I've had dogs in the past. Now I only have like 6 cats. But I had dogs in the past that if you like even raised your voice to me, that dog would come up and like be ready to defend me.
Yeah.
So was the dog reacting to George's erratic behavior and wanting to protect the kids and Kathy, or did it sense something supernatural?
See, that's the thing too, because the biggest thing is that they say is like pets sense that like before anybody. But yeah, like I don't know, like it could be a very, like you were saying, a very protective dog as well. So I don't know on that one.
I'm gonna give a point for both.
Yeah, because that one can go either way. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be fair. I'm just gonna give them both a point. So right now it's 4-2. Shaping up. Okay, so we go into the red room. They show like it's such a bad graphic when it's like the himself like shown in the background of the room where he gets in there. I guess that was his brother, but I don't even know why they would have to use another person for that. They believe the house is a living entity, and the house itself seems pretty old. I don't know what year it was made, but it's definitely not in the best shape, would you say?
I mean, it looks good for what it is, but yeah, it's definitely an older house.
Let me look up when it was made. It was built in 1927. And then, so this is 1975.
Okay, so about 50, a little less than 50 years old.
I mean, 50 years, a long time for a house, though. Things start going down.
Yeah, stuff starts falling apart.
Yeah. So we've got an old creaky house. All the flies. They show that as evidence of possession. I think the only other movie or thing that I can remember referencing flies is like The Exorcist.
And Scary Movie 2.
Flies to show possession.
Scary Movie 2 as well.
Scary Movie 2. But that doesn't count.
Yeah, I think just The Exorcist. I feel like there's another, but I can't remember. But I mean, I think since The Exorcist is so iconic, like it's a big thing. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so this one of flies to me says go clean your house. You should probably put out some like a jar of, what is it?
I know it's like apple cider, because we have a mulberry tree outside our house and it attracts so many fruit flies and flies. So one year it's not as bad as it used to be, but one year my wife did like a jar of apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
And it killed so many of them.
Yeah.
We put them outside too, like on the deck. So that helped them from trying to get in the house as well. But yeah, that works very well.
Yeah. They had a lot of trees. He was chopping a lot of wood.
He did chop a lot of wood.
There's a lot of wood. I mean, I just don't think that I can say flies mean that there is a possession. I think that's so
There's tons
weird.
of arguments for flies. And it
Yeah.
being an old house too, there could be like dead mice in the walls, dead stuff somewhere in the house in the walls that they can't get to that's attracting flies.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't know this fly thing. They're the ones who account for the flies, but I don't know. I think I'm going to leave that one out. I'm not going to put a point for either. It just seems weird. I guess so. The priest, how they had like all the flies swarming his head and stuff in the movie, they had to put honey on his head.
That's a cool fun fact.
So if you want to be covered in flies, just like cover yourself in honey.
It sounds horrible though.
That's very gross. I would never do that. It was confirmed that he visited the house, like the real priest visited the house, and the priest did report that the house told him get out. And he even testified under oath that that happened in the house. So that is one more point for the house because the priest did testify to that.
That's a valid point.
I could argue that, but I'm not going to. Let's see. And then the family struggled to stay warm despite keeping a roaring fire going constantly. And my thing is like, is a cold house in winter or whatever time, like when you don't have central AC, is that really a sign of possession?
No.
I don't think so.
No, yeah. I grew up very poor, so I know exactly what that's like. So
yeah. I think it's a huge house, right?
Yeah.
They have one fire going and they're disappointed that their house isn't warm enough. Like this is your first time living in a big house.
First world problems.
Yeah. No, I think it's just like I think it was a new house and they did not know how to keep up with it.
Mm.
Should this be an untrue point or?
I think that's an untrue point.
I think it's an untrue point too. 5 for untrue. All right. The next thing. They said there was a strange green gelatinous substance oozing from walls and keyholes, and they kept getting sick. I say that's mold.
Yeah.
Why are you not? Everyone's getting sick and they're breathing in. You probably have mold, and that's probably why you had the flies.
Did they have home inspections before you bought homes?
I actually had that as a question. I don't know.
See? Because that one could easily be debunked if there was a proven inspection done, because obviously an inspector would have found the mold and they couldn't move in unless they took care of that problem.
Yeah. Another thing that really I have a problem with people using this as proof that they like to substantiate their claims is the fact that they left all their belongings.
Yeah.
After 28 days.
They made that a big point.
Yeah, they make that a big point. But those weren't their belongings. They were sleeping in dead people's stuff.
Well, the house was already furnished when they got it?
They bought it. They bought everything in the house for $400 extra.
$400 extra?
Yeah. All the furniture. The kids were literally sleeping in beds where people had been shot and killed.
Don't like that.
The couches, everything. The only thing they had that they left behind that was actually theirs was their clothes and food. That's it.
Okay.
So when people are like, oh, well, they left all their belongings, they left all their furniture. Well, once I find out that someone was killed on those beds, I'm not going back for that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a debunk point right there.
Okay. Yes. Untrue point. Should I also put it for true? Because people are going to say that it should be. They still had clothes. I don't know.
They had to make a dramatic exit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just think that they were suffering from like a lot of different stressors.
I agree.
So we have the red eyes and the demonic pig. And Kathy sees a pair of glowing red swine-like eyes, which what's the difference between eyes and swine-like eyes? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The daughter also develops an imaginary friend named Jody. described as a demonic pig-like creature with red eyes.
What kid doesn't have a imaginary friend?
One thing is the little girl, her real name was Chelsea. She doesn't ever come out for or against these stories. She has stayed quiet. It's never been confirmed by her that she's had an imaginary friend or anything like that. That's where I just I'm going to leave it out because there's just a lot of stuff that's unsubstantiated. If only Kathy and George are saying these things, they have a motive to say these things. They don't want the house. The people say it's because they want money and they were trying to make money off of the book deal and stuff. But I really think in that moment, I think they realized they made a horrible mistake by buying that house.
Horrible purchase.
Yes. It was a horrible purchase for their family. It was causing them stress. They didn't know how to take care of it. All kinds of things were happening just because the stress was compounding on each other. And they just up and left. And they wanted to be able to get out of the contract that they were in or whatever,
An impulse purchase. That's the word.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of was. They were like, we can't really afford it, but let's try, and they weren't going to keep paying for the house. I know that he was having a lot of financial problems. He couldn't pay his employees. His one employee comes over and he's like, you need to sign these checks. You haven't paid, it's supposed to be payday or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's the wedding and the $1,500 that goes missing. And apparently the house just wants to steal all their money, wants to make them poor. This is going to steal $1,500.
I guess literally and figuratively.
Yeah. They try to say that that's proof as well, but George did suspect his brother-in-law of taking the money and faking that it was lost. He suspected him of that. Do we think the money is a point for untrue or true?
I think that's untrue. There's a lot that can, like I said, I'm a believer, but I don't think a house would literally steal money from you.
Yeah.
In that kind of way.
I think the brother-in-law could have very easily put it in his underwear or something, and then or pretended he checked his pockets or put it in his shoe or anything.
Yeah.
And then the check that George wrote to the caterer ended up bouncing. Then he was being harassed for that as well. So that's a lot of stuff in a very short period of time.
Agreed.
That right there would make me want to just get up and go. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just what we were talking about stress in the beginning, but there's just event after event after event that's just building more and more stress.
The next thing, okay, Kathy is seen levitating off the bed in her sleep, while the children are also shown levitating in their beds. Blood oozes from walls and drips down the staircase. There are all these things to show that the house is possessed. And Kathy and George say that those things happened.
House is 50 years old, though. That could be rust.
It could. I just don't. There was no proof of this ever.
Besides the Lutz family saying all that, it's hard to believe.
There's no proof. If you had blood coming from your walls, I would have the priest there that second to come and see that my house was bleeding. Are you kidding me? Wait, I would call someone. I would have someone to substantiate that with me, and no one, the priest never saw it. No one else ever saw that. They might have been hallucinating. It happens, especially
could have had a gas leak.
Health issues.
Could have had a gas leak too that made him hallucinate.
Could. Yep. Could have. It was
not a major carbon monoxide that would obviously kill them, but there could be a leak of something that's messing with their heads.
That would explain the fact that more than one person is experiencing these delusions. So yeah, could have been.
And because Catherine, that's her name, right? Catherine Lutz.
Yeah.
So because George is obviously very stressed with everything, so that's why our argument is that he's seeing all this, but Catherine could be becoming more and more stressed as well, and then like feeding into what he's saying, and then think she's seeing all this as well.
Yeah. Well, she's definitely getting scared of him.
Hmm.
You know, she just married this guy. She moved into this house with him, and now she's seeing him spiral, and she's scared of him. Like he
And
does
that
get
could be another
aggressive with them.
that could be another thing of like her fearing him, so she's playing along with what he's saying.
Yeah. They also show like doors closing, windows closing as the house is malevolent and trying to hurt you. I mean, just like a nice swift draft will close a door.
That was my first thought.
Or the window closing like that. It was an older house. It was not maintained.
If we have the windows open and like we open or close the door, like it definitely forces other doors to get closed in our house because of like the wind.
Yeah. I felt bad for the little boy when the door closed or the window closed on his hand.
Hmm.
But I just don't think that that is a sign that the house is malevolent. I think doors close on their own, especially in older houses. And those windows were not made the best.
I had a window close on one of my cats.
Oh no.
It was like funny though, like because we were recording it too when it happened, because
Yeah.
one of them was like sitting in the windowsill,
Yeah.
and then the other cat like went up on its paws like to like look out the window, and like that's
Yeah.
what and it was like a really light window, so
Uh-huh.
it like brought it that the male cat like brought it down on the one that was laying there. Like she didn't
Oh.
get hurt or anything. It just like pissed her off and scared her.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So you saw the other cat. So at least it wasn't a ghost.
No, it wasn't a ghost.
It wasn't a ghost.
It was just a funny story.
Yeah. Okay. The babysitter was trapped in the closet. That was like a weird scene. But I will say the babysitter never confirmed any of the things that they said happened.
Yeah, that was gonna be my main question. Has the babysitter ever came forward, or was that just reported?
It was just they reported that.
Hmm.
I have a note. Okay. The book names the babysitter as Jackie, sometimes referred to as Jackie Barrett in later discussions. Though the detail is fuzzy. She reportedly claimed she was locked in Missy's room and that no one could hear her banging. Okay. However, okay, here. No interview, testimony, or public statement from Jackie exists to back it up. The story has always been presented through the Lutz family account.
We're gonna need to get Jackie Barrett on the line here.
Yeah, right? You think she's still alive?
I mean, yeah, she was a teenager in the 70s. Yeah, definitely.
How has no one got her to confirm or deny this?
It sounds like a made up name to me.
Right? That like they can't even find her.
Yeah, I don't know.
So do we want to put that 4 or leave it out?
I would just leave that one out because there's no evidence supporting either.
That's the problem with this is like some of these things it's like okay I could if it was confirmed by someone else other than them.
Yeah, then Lutz.
Yeah. Over time, skeptics of the Amityville case have pointed to this as one of many examples where the Lutz narrative couldn't be verified by outside witnesses. Ed and Lorraine Warren claimed to experience strong negative energy and capture anomalies in the house, but they are at this point controversial figures and their credibility is debated as well. So should we add them in the true portion that they said they...
If anything, I would put the Warrens in the not true because I think the Warrens are hacks.
They are fucking hacks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know if you were going to agree or disagree with me, but I think they are complete fucking hacks. Proven that they've stolen other people's stories.
Yeah.
Even them being any part of it, put them in the not true.
Yeah. They're not good people. They would like blame people for being possessed as well.
And Ed was a predator.
No, there is like, I've listened to a lot of coverage on them and I just like, they're bullshit.
Garbage people.
All right. The religious struggle. The priest, he's not able to banish the evil, reflects doubts about the power of faith when confronted with unexpected forces. So there's a lot of like, they show the priest standing up to the church, but like The other priest that he's standing up to makes some really fucking good points. So the priest goes to the church and he's like, we need to do an exorcism on the house. And the other guy's like, well, you need to tell me what have you experienced? And he's like, well, I heard the house say, get out. And he's like, okay, that can be explained away. What else has happened? And he's like, well, the guy who killed his family in that house, he was hearing voices, and I heard voices in the house too. And he's like, well, that sounds like what everyone who kills their family says. He's like, everything you're telling me can be explained away. Like nothing is obvious that this is a possession. He kind of like tries to play it like, oh, I get you're trying to cover it up. Like the church doesn't want to help this family. And he's like, no, you're being dramatic and you should go spend time with your family. Oh, there's the friend Carolyn, the one that couldn't go into the house.
Yeah.
Because she was getting headaches and all these things.
Another explanation for a gas leak.
Yeah. Apparently, okay, so it was commonly believed among fans and viewers that she was experiencing possession. Helen Shaver, who plays Carolyn, is often asked the question and answers that she wasn't experiencing a demonic possession, rather a sensory overload. I don't know why. I guess people thought she was possessed in the movie. She was not possessed. She's just overstimulated.
Yes.
Carolyn she calls herself a clairvoyant and sensitive to supernatural. So she was experiencing the pain, torture, and sadness of all the souls trapped in hell being thrown at her at once. Oh, God. As the Red Room is said to be an entrance to hell, except they didn't even film in the house. They were on a set. I don't know. This is all bullshit.
Yeah, that one seems very hokey or fabricated.
Yeah. It sounds like someone's feeling a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but your feelings mean nothing. Fuck your feelings.
I was about to say, fuck your feelings.
My husband, he was a philosophy professor. So anytime someone would try to make an argument with I feel is like, nope, that's not an argument. No one gives a fuck how you feel. You tell me what is it? What is the proof? What is, what can you show me?
Facts.
Tell me
show
how
me
you
facts.
feel. Your feelings are not a reason to base anything off of, basically.
Yeah. See, I like that.
Yeah. Fuck your feelings. My next theme in here is trust versus skepticism. So the push and pull between believing in the haunting or dismissing it speaks to society's skepticism of the supernatural versus lived experience. So the killing of his family by Ronald DeFeo was very real. The Amityville horror is believed to be a money-making scheme by author Jay Anson and the Lutz family together. Later, occupants of the house have reported no unusual events, which we already put that in our favor. When DeFeo was questioned as to why he murdered his family, his response was, the voices told me to.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The thing about DeFeo, at first he said it was a mob hit, and then he said it was the mob made him do it, and then he started saying that it's voices in his head that told him to do it.
Yeah. So let's get into that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about DeFeo. Let's get into a little bit of him. His defense psychologist or psychiatrist, Dr. Daniel Schwartz, diagnosed DeFeo as a paranoid psychotic and testified that DeFeo didn't know it was wrong to kill his family due to his mental illness. So the prosecution psychiatrist, Dr. Harold Zolan, testified that DeFeo suffered from antisocial personality disorder, and although exasperated by drug use, because he was a drug addict, and aware of his actions during the murders,
and an alcoholic,
deliberately tried to mislead authorities and inquired about collecting life insurance, which he did. He tried to collect life insurance on his dead family members. On top of that, when he killed his family, he was using, actively in his system, heroin and LSD.
Oh, well, addicts will do almost anything for money.
And he did have, like, he had a really tumultuous relationship with his father. They were arguing about money. Are we going to put that in the true or untrue category?
Absolutely untrue.
Untrue, thank you. Yes.
Like, it's even on record that he would skip work just to go to the bar too. So alcohol, drugs, everything comes into play.
Yep. There was just like I have like a fun little fact. The first major write-up of the alleged events was in Good Housekeeping's magazine, which is so fucking random.
Good Housekeeping?
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is the opposite of Good Housekeeping. Why is it there?
Oh, no.
Oh, and then the article came out before Jay Anson's book, The Amityville Horror, and the two accounts disagree on a number of points. So their story has changed. I'm going to give that a point for untrue.
Agreed.
The actor, James Brolin, actually became friends with George Lutz and his kids. He was highly doubtful of their story, so he never even really bought into it. He never believed them. In 1979, attorney William Weber filed a lawsuit against George Lutz and Kathy Lutz, charging them with fraud and breach of contract. He alleged that they reneged on an agreement to collaborate with Weber on the book. In an interview with the Associated Press, Weber admitted that he and the Lutzes had concocted the horror story scam over many bottles of wine.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted money. They wanted to get out of having to pay for this house. They couldn't afford it. They were in financial ruin. I mean, I'm giving another point for it being untrue. So right now we're at 6-3.
It's not looking good.
No, not looking good for the Lutz family.
I think we're going to single-handedly debunk the Amityville horror case.
Maybe. There were rumors going around about the set being haunted and things like that. And actually the cast and crew and everyone really leaned into that for like publicity, but none of it was ever
Yeah, what movie doesn't say that?
I know. It's like the best thing. I mean, if I made a movie, I'd definitely be like, yeah, this person fell down this hole or something. I don't know. As long as no one actually gets hurt, I'd say anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. The Lutz family went on to live a relatively normal life free of paranormal activity after this, but their peace was short-lived. George and Kathy Lutz divorced in the late 1980s, so they didn't stay married for very much longer after this. And then George died of heart disease in 2006, which is much, much later. I don't know why that's relevant. The three children, Daniel, Christopher, and Missy, are adults and remain out of the public eye. Their names were changed for the film. The Lutz family only left behind clothes and food, which we already talked about. The Lutz parents, George and Kathy, claimed the events were true and even passed a polygraph test in 1979, which we know not very credible, but you know what? I'll give them the point.
Polygraph, they don't even hold up in court.
No.
Because they're very easy to manipulate.
Yeah. It's all about like your heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a psychopath, you can definitely get away with it. Or I don't know, any of these, like, I'm going to give it to them because they at least passed. They're already so far behind. They're not.
You gave them a pity point. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Pity point. Yes. So his stepson, Daniel Lutz, has openly discussed the abuse he suffered at the hands of his stepfather. And he accuses him of Satanism, which this just sounds like he fucking hated his stepdad. Amy's imaginary friend, implied to be the youngest daughter of the deceased family and later revealed to be the demonic pig in the window, is a fictional character. Ronald DeFeo had a younger sister in real life, Allison DeFeo, who was 13. There is a whole theory that she actually helped him with the murder. And then afterwards, he ended up shooting her.
I haven't heard that theory. I have heard a theory that somebody else was involved and they were never caught, but I didn't dig too deep into that one.
The theory is that it was the 13-year-old sister that he enlisted her into doing it because she was the only one that was not in like the same position, like a sleeping position.
Mm-hmm.
Last podcast on the left does a deep dive into this, and they explain that theory, and I think they do a really good job explaining it, and I think there is something to it. I'm just not sure what. In the movie, the very end of it, that is different than the book, because in the book they just leave, but in the movie George goes back to get the dog, and he ends up being in some like weird tar pit or something. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very weird ending.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of the scenes reminded me of like Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Very reminiscent of Poltergeist, especially when there's like the storm at the end and they're leaving the house. It was very much Poltergeist did it better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me of that. And then like the axe in the door when he's like losing his shit and about like trying to kill his family, that reminded me of The Shining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which The Shining came out like a year later after this.
There's a lot of very similar aspects in The Shining that it feels like, well, The Shining came out after, but like the isolation, everything like that. So very similar things. Yeah,
they are really similar. Are there any things I did not touch upon in this movie that you think I should have talked about?
I think I brought up the biggest, like Ronnie DeFeo, the things with him, and just the financial stress and just stress period.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of stuff, like getting married, buying a house. You're already in financial strain. You can't afford to pay your employees. You're bouncing checks. Chopping wood is it's a way to avoid all your problems, but it doesn't make them go away.
Right.
At the end, for untrue, we have 11. And for true, we have 4.
Jesus.
So I say they're full of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't believe them. Not for a second.
No.
Now I have a game for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. I can't show you my screen because it would show you too much, but it's going to be an EVP, and you have to tell me what you think the ghost is saying in the EVP.
Right. I love it.
And I will give you choices. It will be A, B, or C, and then you tell me what you think it is. Some of these EVPs I was going through and I was like, I don't believe that this is what the ghost is saying. I think it's saying something else, but you can tell me and I'll tell you what they think it says. So I'm going to share my sound with you right now. I think I'm able to share my sound. Share sound. Can you see it?
Yeah, but I won't look. I just minimize my screen so I can't see anything.
Okay, good. Don't cheat.
I'm not. I promise I won't.
It's going to play, and then I'll tell you the choices, and then you'll listen to it one more time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Why won't you leave this house?
All right. Did you hear it at the end?
Yes.
I'll give you your options before you listen to it again. The options are A, mine, help me, B, my house, or C, mine now. So I'm going to play it one more time.
What if I heard something that's not a choice?
It has to be one of the choices.
Okay.
So listen again.
Okay, go ahead. I pick B, my house.
B, my house?
Yep.
They think it says A, mine, help me, but I think it says my house.
Can I say what I thought it said?
What did you think it said?
I thought it said mine first.
Oh, mine first. Let me hear it one more time. I hear an H at the beginning.
Yeah, the second word is very hard
to
make out, but I felt like I heard a T at the end. Finish with the T.
I definitely didn't hear help me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like out of all the choices, I definitely hear my house.
But they're asking like the question, it makes sense. It's like, why won't you leave? That was the question. And so for them to say my house or even my first would make sense, but I don't know. I don't know if logic is what they're looking for. So next one, there are 3 altogether.
Okay. I'm not looking again.
Name's Brian and Mary.
What?
Okay. Do you want to hear it one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
Okay.
Are your names Brian and Mary?
Oh, are your names Brian and Mary?
Mhm.
Here are the options. Reach out and then a scream. Beach now and then a scream. Or ritual and a scream. Except I just thought of a different one that I think it might have been. But what do you think they thought it was? I'm going to play it one more time.
Out of those three, I thought it was reach out.
Reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Listen again. They think it said ritual.
One more time. Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's reach out.
Reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the question? It was asking them what the name is. I almost feel like it says Rachel.
That's what I wanted. That's what I thought too. That I thought it said Rachel. I was like, I hope one of the choices is Rachel. And I instantly thought of Rachel Green from Friends after I heard it.
Yeah, I mean, they asked what your name is, the name is.
Mhm.
And it would make sense if it said Rachel. Why would it say ritual?
I heard because there's like a faint L at the end for ritual, but there's not the ool.
Let's listen one more time.
Yeah, I hear Rachel.
I hear Rachel too.
I just didn't
think
say it
they're
because I'm
wrong.
not allowed to pick my own choices, remember?
So, I mean, they say it's ritual, but we can disagree with them.
So we both agree on Rachel, though.
I agree with Rachel. This ghost's name is Rachel.
Rachel's pissed.
I know. She had like a very loud screech. That is a very mad ghost. So here's the last one.
Why do you keep doing stuff and terrorizing family members?
So she's asking them, why are you doing stuff and terrorizing family members?
Mhm.
You want to hear it one more time?
Yeah, one more.
All right. So she's like, why are you terrorizing? And so here are the options. A, bound here. B, beyond here. Or C, buried here.
One more time. I think it says bound here.
Bound here?
Yeah.
I agree. And that's the only one they got right. They said it was bound here.
I didn't hear anything else like the first two. That's what I heard was bound here.
Yeah. Bound here makes sense. And it makes sense. So yeah, that was the game.
I love that. So I'm not going to lie. This is like one of the most fun and unique podcasts I've ever been on.
Really?
And I want to come back more.
Oh, well, I'll definitely have you back. Yeah, I try to make it fun. I used to be a teacher.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like I always play games with my students. And so,
I love that. It's very creative. Like this was a blast.
well, thank you. I would definitely love to have you guys on again.
Let's end on a high note. Weekly horror update. New movie that draws inspiration from 70s horror classics, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. Brute 1976 is available to be rented on VOD. The Purge creator and director James DeMonico created his latest project, The Home. This is available to rent. I watched it and I was pleasantly surprised. I would honestly give it a 4 out of 5 on my Scream scale. Bambi the Reckoning, the latest installment in the Poohniverse from the producers of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, has stomped its way onto VOD today. Toxic Avengers is in theaters for a limited period of time. The Toxic Avenger himself had his life upended by unexpected medical debt. So instead of another big marketing stunt to promote the Toxic Avenger, they're doing something really good. Cineverse has partnered with national nonprofit Undo Medical Debt to erase at least $5 million in medical debt for those families least able to pay. And for every 1 million the Toxic Avenger makes at the box office, Cineverse will erase another 1 million in medical debt. Now that is horror with heart. Go support this movie in theaters if you haven't already done so. Also support me. I'm in the Face of Halloween challenge. In my last episode, I go over all the details and how it works. This is the best way you can pay me for everything I do. By voting daily, you're helping me meet Jamie Lee Curtis, Kane Hodder, and Matthew Lillard. Also, I get to be in Roomwork magazine and I get $13,000. I really want this. If you want to tell me how great I'm doing, you can email me at screamqueenpodcaster@gmail.com. This is a weekly podcast with new episodes out every Thursday. All the research, writing, and audio is done by yours truly. This is a one-woman show, and I am doing my very best. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. It really means a lot. For real. Like, if you haven't done it, go do it. What are you doing? Go do it right now. You can find me on Instagram at Scream Queen Podcaster, Blue Sky at Scream Queen Podcast, TikTok at Scream Queen Podcast, and there's a link tree that will send you to my YouTube and Facebook page as well. Remember, if you have ooze leaking from your walls and gunk coming up from your pipes, you probably need a home inspection. Until next time, goodbye.